I hope you are syntax of the JavaScript. How do we actually include it in our web page? And multiple line comments. And we generally don't use the C data as we have issues in our browser. So we code our JavaScript code within the head section of the script tag like this, as in inline or external. Also, you can do it with the help of the external JavaScript embedding method. This one, indirect reference. So here in the source, you will get the external JS file. We have seen the identifiers that has to start with the dollar underscore or a letter and continue with dollar underscore letter or a digit, and these are case sensitive. Okay, and there should not be any uppercase included here. We have certain result keywords, as in Java we have some result keywords in JavaScript as well. So please go through the different types of keywords you have in your textbook. And this is a single line comment, and these are multi-line comments. So regarding the statement syntax, every statement has to end with a semicolon. Okay, you have to appropriately end the statement like this. If you want to return something, have it here, return X, but not in the next line. So if a statement must be continued to make a new line, make sure that the first line does not make a complete statement by itself. So it is telling like whenever you end your statement, it has to be closed appropriately by declaring the statement within a single line itself. And we have seen the different kinds of primitive types. Okay. They are immutable and they have different data types like undefined, null, boolean, number, or a string. So a variable can hold one of the two values. It can be primitive values or reference values. And primitive values are the data that are stored on the stack, as we have seen in the PPT. The primitive values are the data which are stored on the stack. Okay. And reference values are the objects that are stored in the heap. So you are well aware of the stack and heap concepts, right? So whenever you use a virtual thing, like heap is always a virtual storage kind of thing, and this is on your what we say hardware. Okay. So primitive reference values are the objects that are stored in the heap, and these reference values stored in the variable location is a pointer to the location in the memory where the object is stored. So always this reference values will point to the, for example, you have a sticky notes which is like attached on your fridge. So on the sticky notes you write some information like please find the vegetables under the rack. So your stored location is your rack, but the address is written on the sticky notes of your fridge. So that is a pointer. Kind of similarly, reference values are stored in a variable location is a pointer to the location in the memory. So they will always point a location. See here you can see the arrow, right? So this is what. So we have different primitive types like undefined, null, boolean, number, or string. All are immutable. Primitives are immutable. Number values are represented internally as double precision floating point numbers. So you have normal integers and different kinds of data types, right? Float values, integers, decimals. All those things are stated under this numeric and string literals. And these are the notations of the, like you give these to use a quote in a string delimited by same quotes. So you have some escaped characters. So these are mentioned with the help of these type of notations. And you have empty strings which has no characters. I can show you some escape sequences. So you'll have these types of escape characters, backslash, this is for backslash, this is for double quotes. So when you are writing the strings, right, you often use this to delimit your text. And we have seen about the null, undefined, boolean things. And declaring variables, how do we actually declare it? With the help of var, the variable name. So if you want to initialize the declared variable, so whenever you declare, you will not have any value, right? Then the value is undefined here. If you explicitly make it null, this will have no value, nothing is there. And if you want to initialize with some value, you will do like this. And we have certain numeric operators like plus, multiplication, minus, division, and moduli. So increment operators, we have seen the examples as well with the help of the precedence. So here star has highest precedence, so 3 plus 4 into 5. This will take the first, this operation has to be done first, later the addition is done. We have seen the associativity. So how does it start from left to right or right to left? Okay. So this example also we have seen b slash a slash 2. So how the associativity starts from left. Okay. For slash, it is starting from left. So in the next example, when we see this, for slash, it has to start from left. So we started from b slash a. So 4 divided by 2, then divided by 2. Next comes our math object. So this provides a collection of properties and methods useful for number values. So with the help of this math object, we can actually, with the help of this math object, it will allow us to perform some mathematical tasks on numbers. For example, if we write math dot pi, okay, you know the value of pi, so the output will be like, it will return 3.14, okay. So like that we have certain examples like math dot round of 4 some 3.7, okay. What it will return, it will rounded off the number and return the output as 4, okay. So there are certain functions in that a math object can perform. Math.power, math.pow of x comma y, okay. X comma y, this will be the basic syntax. So it will give the output here. If you give it as 8 and 2, it returns power value, okay. Output will be 64. So here is your description of what we are talking about, and this is the mat.pow. We are going to execute this function which returns a value of x to the power of y, okay, x to the power of y. So 8 to the power of 2. Here, this is the place where we are actually trying to uh, get our text get our output. Okay, so document dot get element by id. So in the future classes I'm going to explain you about the DOM elements, how we are actually trying to access this paragraph element with the help of this id. So we have certain notations like document dot get element by id. We are trying to manipulate the DOM elements. Okay, DOM elements are nothing but the document object model. Whenever your web page is rendered, this model is, and this is an internal model, and which actually resides in your browser, and using this model we'll try to navigate through different elements of our web page. So like that, document is nothing but your web document. Dot get element by id is a method, like you are trying to access this id dot inner html. So you are trying to place something here. This is the inner html place of this particular id is equal to mat dot power of. So whatever the value is there, it will be assigned to this inner html mat dot power of 8 square 64. Now when we run this, you will be actually able to see the output. Okay. So you can see right here in your paragraph, you got the inner html as 64. So like this, we have different functions like mat.round. I'm just going to share this screen back. So this mat.asp will have all the different kinds of functions. Okay, please refer to them. Okay, whatever you see are the different properties of the number object. So a number has properties like max value, min value, not a number. Na is nothing but not a number. So if it is not a number, we can check like as we did type of or instance of something. We can check whether it is a number or not with the help of nan of certain things. Like use I is nan to test if a is nan, not a number. Okay, these are mainly useful during the validations and all. You will be writing some number not equal to undefined, or number not equal to null, or number, or it is not a number. In some cases, during the validations, we will use these three things: not a number, or different kinds. Based on the situation, you have to use this to determine whether it is a number or not. And let us check some examples of the max value, min value. Okay, you have number dot max value, number dot min value, positive infinity, negative infinity, and number dot nan. So here the number dot max get the maximum value. Similarly, you will get the minimum value of a number, and you can use it certainly. As you can see here example, right? If number 1 into number 2 less than or equal to number dot max value. So if this multiplied value is less than or equal to the max value of a number, then this function has to be executed, else function 2 has to be executed. So that is the case. So if you write a number, some number is an object, right? If you are trying to get the value of an object, you'll be able to get the 1.79, and in a similar way you have a min value as well. But when you do it for a number, like for example some x dot max value, x is having 3, then in that case it will be undefined. So this is a property which cannot be changed actually. It is trying to get the maximum number of a value or a minimum number of a value, and you can utilize it for certain functions like here shown in an example. Okay, and you cannot change these properties. It will actually result in an undefined value if you try to do it. So this is the syntax. How do you write your not a number? This is the value which we are going to test. Number is number dot is nan. This is the syntax. So here if you write 10, what will it return? It will return a boolean value. Okay, the return value will be boolean, indicating whether or not the given value is nan. If you write 10, then it is true. Sorry, it's false. It's not a number, it's false. So here are the examples. So in the link I have shared, you can go through these different examples. Okay, you are trying to check whether it is the number is true or false. So try to execute all these things in your program like we did, right? Document.get element by id of that particular id dot inner html is equal to math dot power we have did, right? Similar way you do number dot is nan, or you can try it out using these examples. So basically these are useful while we are doing things. We may not find the error appropriately. In that case, you use the catch, try catch exceptions, and in that try catch blocks, you can execute these line of statements like you can check whether your backend you are getting a number or a string by using these certain methods. See here you are using your logical operators and trying to do some kind of validation here. So for now you can understand the basic meaning of this. So in future, going forward, when you are going to build some complex codes for your projects, then you will find these things like practically these are very important while determining the data is appropriate or not. So before that, here in your classroom sessions, you should be aware of all the concepts so that you can appropriately use them based on the situation. Okay, please go through the link. That's like number dot is nan of. You can either write a number and see what it returns. Okay, the return type is always a boolean. Okay, this is your syntax. Also, whenever you use these JavaScript methods or properties, you check for the compatibility, browser compatibility, like whether the browser supports or not. So like here we can see IE has no support for this. These are your desktop browsers and this is your mobile browsers. So all the latest browsers will obviously have the supports. Properties max value returns the largest number possible in the JavaScript, and min value returns the smallest number possible in the JavaScript. Negative infinity represents a negative infinity returned on overflow, and this is not a number value. Positive infinity we have discussed, right? If the number is greater than the max value, then it will go for a positive infinity. If the number is less than a minimum value, it will go for a negative infinity. So here we can see the examples. The number dot max value, what have you seen? 1.79. This is the maximum number value that is achieved using the JavaScript. If you are trying to give some x, okay, x dot max value, and you have a script where you have written where x is equal to 3. Observe what will be the result. So as we discussed, if you try to get the value of x dot max value, it will return undefined because you cannot manipulate this particular object. You have a number dot max value or number dot min value or positive infinity or negative infinity to check whether it exceeds the maximum value or a minimum value. So this is a property, and which is trying to achieve the largest number and the smallest largest value and the smallest value of a number, but but we cannot do any manipulations over it. So you can try. In this slide is toString method converts a number to a string. So with the help of the toString method, we can convert the number to a string. Okay, we shall see the examples of the different methods, string methods. In my script, I have written the portion of the JavaScript code, which you can do it using external JavaScript as well. I have defined a function. So what is the syntax here? Function and your function name, okay, followed by parenthesis. So within the function braces, you have all the JavaScript code written, okay. So when you call this particular function, so when you are calling it button dot on click of my function. On click is an event. So events we have already discussed, right? Events help us to trigger, like perform certain actions. So when you're clicking on a button, some action has to be performed, and that you want to call this particular function. In that case, when you click on it, it will go to this function, and you have declared the number as 15, and you are trying to achieve something here. You want to convert the number into string and store it in the variables like ABCD. As it is a HTML tag, you are appending and like you are placing this particular tag in the quotations. Okay, wherever you write your HTML portion of code in the JavaScript, you have to use this syntax. I mean, you have to use this double quotes. Then it will be determined as a portion of HTML code. Okay, so this where you are trying to get the whole output. So what happens here? The number dot toString of space 2 8. So equivalent number is 8, right? In string you will have the value of 8 as something which is stored in C. So you are trying to get this in a n value and append it and place it in your inner HTML. So let us see what will be the output here. Okay, this is your button. When you click on it, you got some output, right? So this is a button on click. So when I've clicked on try it button, this function is called. So D has number 16, right? Its equivalent value of string is F. So this is the output. Similarly, 8 to 2 space. You can try out different examples giving some different numbers. Okay. Cases other types are automatically converted to string. So we have a catenation thing in string, which we are going to see with the help of an example. How do you actually do a catenation here? So here you have two different strings. Strings. This is the syntax of strings. How do you write? Within the quotations, you will write your strings. So now I am trying to concatenate two strings here. Okay. So when I click on the output should be stored in a n. So you have to get a combined string. So let us see the output here. So when you click on try it, you can see the catenation operation here. Hello world and all. Okay. So JavaScript attempts to convert the values in order to be able to perform operations. For example, here we have seen August. Let me share the screen once again. Implicit type conversions. There are two types of conversions: implicit type conversion and explicit type conversion. So let us understand first what is implicit type conversion here. So JavaScript attempts to convert the values in order to be able to perform operations. To perform certain operations, JavaScript tries to convert the values implicitly. Like it has not, it does not. We doesn't need to write anything explicitly. It automatically takes care of the conversion. In sometimes, like you have an August, which is a string. Okay, plus 1977 causes a number to be converted to string and concatenation to be performed. Let us see the example here once. Okay, what will be the output here? Let me share my notepad plus plus once again. So here I will have the hello world only. Okay. Um, I hope the screen, you can see my screen now. And instead of a string, I'm trying to give a number. Some 1977. So same text. Okay. Save it and see the output here. See, concatenation has happened, and this is entire string. Okay, this is not a number anymore. Once you add this as a string to a number, it will always be a string. Okay, and similarly when you try to do some mathematical operation like into 7 into 3 causes a string to be converted to a number and a multiplication to be performed. So this example you can try it out. So the initial element is a number here. So observe what happens here. So null is converted to 0 in a numeric context undefined to NaN. So here when you try to add some null value or null is converted to 0 in a numeric context, it is actually we call it as 0, and we call a undefined as not a number. So 0 is interpreted as a boolean false. You know, right, 1 and 0. 0 is always interpreted as a boolean false, which is equivalent to boolean false, and all other numbers are interpreted as true. Boolean false, all the other strings including 0 as boolean true. So whenever, see, the main difference between a number and a string is like if a particular element is present within the quotations, then it is obviously considered as a string. Okay, even if it is like 1977 or something, it will be determined as a string only. Okay, so empty string we'll consider it as boolean false. Boolean equivalent, we are string is a, in terms of string, empty string is a boolean false and remaining strings are true. So undefined, not a number, and null are all interpreted as boolean false. Okay, a number. So if you want to explicitly and you are performing certain methods to convert your string to a number. In the previous case, when you actually try to concatenate string with a number or a number with a string, so this type of conversion is actually taken care by the JavaScript interpreter itself. But when we see this explicit type conversion, we use certain methods to do this conversion. Okay, like parse int and parse float are the certain methods which convert. Okay, let me show some examples here. Or automated type conversions, which we discussed in the previous slide. Okay, here these are the examples of the implicit type conversions. See here, string plus null. What happens? This is a number plus null. So it will return a type as number only. Here the string plus null will return a string here. Okay, and string plus 2 will return a string here, 52. 52 is not like when you have a string and you have a number, the string will always be interpreted as this number 5. This 2 will be placed beside this number. Okay, so if you do multiplication of these two, what we say of that same type, you can see the output here as 10. So in this similar way, you can try out different examples for the implicit. So let's go to the explicit type conversion as well. Okay. So these are the concepts which we have discussed. Okay, 0 means false and other numbers are true. Okay, not a number false and 1 as true. Just check out this table. Okay, for your quick reference. Okay, let's go through the methods like parse float and parse int here. So parses a string and returns an integer. So these are a kind of number methods. Okay, number methods, and these methods will always try to convert certain strings into the numbers. Like you have seen here, right? Number of a string 3.14 within the quotations, whatever we write, it is a string. So now the output will be 3.14, which is a number. Space, number of an empty string is always 0. This one also we have read. It's a single space or a multiple space, it doesn't matter, it always returns a number as 0. And here number of 99, space 88. So you have a space in between, right? So it doesn't know like what type it has to determine. In that case, it will return not a number. Okay. This is not an actual, this is not a number also, this is not a floating point and all. So, uh, which is not in a proper format, it will return as not a number. So there are certain number methods and properties. Okay. String we have seen. Okay. So these are all explicit methods that we are actually trying to convert the numbers or strings to a particular format. So which is automatically taken care by the browser is nothing but the implicit type conversions. Certain string properties and methods like length is one property, string property which gives the length of a particular string. So here in Java we have length as a method. Okay, like this. But whereas JavaScript method and Java method and JavaScript property is entirely different. Okay, and character positions in strings begin at index 0. So whenever you start your index basically starts from a 0 value for this strings. So these are the different string methods we have. Okay. The URLs I have already posted you, like number methods, string methods, and type conversions. Please go through these URLs to get more understanding of the different kinds of methods here. There is like number we have to give, returns a character in the string object that is at specified position. For example, you have some 10 letters. In that 10 letters, you have given some character of 2. So at the second character, what is the number? Like hello world you have given. So what is uh, uh, the element or a letter in the second? So 0, 1, 2. Your second position will be caret of 2 means it's a third position. 0, 1, 2. HELLO. HEL will be the output. So index of will return the index of the particular, like return the position in the string object of the parameter, and substring will always return the portion of a string. Okay. And let us see the syntaxes for all these things. So we have certain parameters for some methods and we don't have parameters like 2 lowercase or 2 uppercase. Like for example, you have written your name like Jntu in small letters and you have given a method called 2 uppercase. In that case, you have some string called where string 1 is equal to Jntu and you are trying to convert a string 1 dot to uppercase. In that case, the output will be Jntu in capital letters. So let us see a few examples of these methods. Okay. Text which has some alphabets from A to Z. So total are 26, right? So when you are trying to get the length of the text, you have to give txt dot length. Whatever the variable you use here, dot length will give you the output here. Okay. In the similar way, you have several string properties and methods. See, this is the index of example. So you have a string called please locate where locate occurs. So you need to find the index of locate. So it has some parameter, right? You have to provide parameters where position is equal to. So whatever this particular method returns, you will catch it in a variable and this variable you are going to see the output in your inner HTML here. So I clicked on, so at which index it is 7. See count here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is your space, 7 is locate. Always the index starts from 0 for strings. Please remember, okay. So again count it from 0. The space is also counted, okay? And locate starts from 7. The index of locate is 7, which is a number. Output is a number. In the similar way, please go through the methods. Okay. Last index of will return the occurrence of the locate. Last occurrence of, this is the first occurrence and this is your last occurrence. So what will be the value here? 21 is the, you just try to count from here from 0, you will get the last index. And for substring, you have a parameters as start and end. Okay. You have certain methods called slice. Please double click on your screen. I have already zoomed my screen. Okay, please double click on the viewable screen. You will be able to get the enlarged view. ACET College, please double click. Because when I'm trying to zoom my screen, I am able to see the enlarged view. Please try it and let me know if the problem occurs. Type of operator we have already seen. Returns a number or a string or a boolean for the primitive types. Returns object for an object or null. So type of 10. What it will return? The output will be a number. Okay. So let us see here few examples for a null and see the syntaxes here. Types, right? For example, we have given type of 10, it will return a number because it is of type 10. True and false means it will return boolean. So this is the syntax for the object. Generally, when we create an object, the basic syntax is like var x is equal to, you can have this notation, you can have the key value pairs like this. Okay. So within this braces we will have the key value pairs. So this is one of the syntax of object, and the another syntax is you can also write new str in the string within this, sorry, so within this you can write some text. So this is actually the syntax for object creation. I think you are well aware of the object creation in your Java also, you might have done this. So this output will be the object, return type will be the object, this one also, okay, number, and this is a, the above one is a string and the below one is a number. So when you are trying, this basically type of is used to return which type it is. Okay. Which is not visible to them, or slash equal to, till now we have seen plus plus minus minus, right? Now it is like plus equal to, which is a plus is equal, a plus equal to 7 means a is equal to a plus 7. This is the shorthand notation. Okay. Similarly, minus equal to means a is equal to a minus 7. Okay. This is about the assignment. So now we are at date object. Like string objects, string methods, number object, we have a date object as well. Okay, this is the syntax of how do we actually create a date object. So date object represents a timestamp that is important in the time. So with the help of new operator, we are going to create a object, date object, and this creates the time for which it is created. So these are the different methods of a date object. So please go through the different methods. I'll okay, share you the URL. Okay. As we have discussed the as we have discussed as string methods and all, right? Similarly, the same thing, math object, number object. So date methods are also the same. Please try it out, these examples. So in tomorrow's class, we will do this one. We had a small introduction, right? Window object represents the window in which the document containing the script is being displayed, and document object represents the document being displayed using the DOM. So these things we'll see in our next class. Okay.